Today I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk. I mean, I do that on my channel all the time anyway, but I kind of just wanted to flow, you know, overshare. First of all, y'all like the hair? I didn't want to cut my hair because, you know, black women, especially darker black women, are often hyper masculinized, and I didn't want to experience that. But I already had locks, and that took me through like the 7 stages of emotional grief. I already had red hair. I had blonde hair or honey blonde hair. It was time for short, and I was tired of doing my hair any way. And I'll post a picture the day before I decided to cut it.
Ow! Jump scare.
I'm a young adult. I'm a 20-something-year-old. If my spirit, if my soul knew what she signed up for, well, I need to have a chat because I don't know why she would do that to us. I don't really like it here. This timeline is a little chaotic. I do EFT tapping, breath work. I do all of the Zen woo-woo things to keep my nervous system regulated. But when I look outside the window, outside the comfort of my home, I'm like, this here is ghetto. Being a young adult in this digital technological age with these unpredictable politics, with the globe quite literally burning.
This here is overrated.
Being that I'm only in my early 20s and I'm already this tired, I don't know, y'all. I don't know how much more I got left in me. Honestly, I understand why celebrities sell their souls. If you really think about it, we all sell our souls to something in one shape or another. But I'm talking about like the essence of my being or just my body's rights. The only thing stopping me is morals, and it don't take much to get rid of them, okay? I try to be very appreciative and grateful for all the things that I have. But sometimes I get in this beautiful black head, this brain of mine, and it's definitely a process of getting out. Life is about the process, so enjoy the process. But sometimes I'm like, can I skip the process and just go straight to reaping the fruits of my labor? Like, is that possible? But then it's also like, am I even going to reap the benefits from all of the work that I'm putting into being alive? Am I going to be able to be on this planet any longer? Like, will I be suffocated by the atmosphere? Is it going to burn? Are we going to have civil war? Are we going to have a world war? Like, all these questions, it's like, but it's like, girl, like, you know that Michael Jackson meme? Like, you can't control what goes on out there, but you can control how you respond to it and what goes on in here, you know? A little bit of my lore. I don't have any lore. I'm only in my early 20s. I don't have no crazy stories like,
yeah, when I was 10, I stole my parents' car and I was drinking, I was smoking, I was fucking.
I don't have stories like that. Like, I'm in the lore curation phase. I'm marinating right now. I used to overshare a lot because I was lonely. I didn't have many friends, and I didn't have people who I felt like I could talk to. I didn't have people who I felt comfortable expressing myself to, which is why I started a YouTube channel in the first place. I have like a lot of videos that are hidden or unlisted rather, because I don't want y'all to see that girl yet. Maybe one day, but not today. The thing about YouTube is like, it started as just like something just, you know, to share my thoughts, my feelings, just to post. But after it became like a job and I had to start doing it to pay bills and stuff, it's like, this isn't fun anymore. And that's adulting. Like, you do things because you either want to or have to, and then it's like,
I don't know, I just don't think this is like great for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it. But don't you think any job interview...
I'm gonna hold space for that. I'm gonna acknowledge that, and I'm gonna honor and respect that. It's okay to feel these feelings, and I have to remind myself that so many times throughout the day, because I feel like there are so many things that I could be complaining about, but like literally most, if not all, the problems that I have come from up here.
Diamond earring came off in the ocean and it's gone. And there's people that are dying.
I'm not in harm's way. I have a roof over my head. The pantry's a little empty, but baby, there's something in there. There's so many things that could be worse. But then again, I feel like I have the right to, you know, feel bad every now and then. But then when I feel bad, it's like, okay, we're not doing that no more. We're no longer feeling bad for ourselves, because I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I have already been the victim, quite literally. I've self-victimized as well. That just comes with being a trauma survivor. I have diagnosed depression and CPTSD, baby. And I don't like to say that because, for one, nobody asked. And two, I don't want to keep affirming that as my reality. I mean, it's part of me, but it doesn't define me, you know, which is why I don't talk about it, because it never really comes up. And it's like, I'm not just going to go to the grocery store and be like, yeah, girl, I got CPTSD. What type of disability you got? You know, like this. It's not a conversation starter, but it's something that still impacts me. And it's something that I'm still navigating and working through, because I don't have a community. That's, again, why I am on YouTube, why I am online, at least why I started it. But again, like I was saying, now that it's become non-negotiable, now it feels like I want to run. I don't have commitment issues, but when things start getting serious, to me, that's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go now. I haven't really done any meditating on that to figure out as to why that is so. But that's where I'm at with YouTube right now. Like, part of me wants to quit, but it's like, girl, you just started. How the fuck you gonna quit? But if y'all seen one of my old podcast videos, it's literally called I'm a Quitter. I proudly quit stuff, but YouTube is something that I feel like I can't quit because it's something that I've wanted to do my entire life. And now that I'm doing it, it's like, I can't. Don't want to say I can't, but that's how it feels. Like, it feels like there's this block. Like, every time I try to do something, it's like, boom. I don't really speak on my spiritual beliefs. I am an esoteric, arcane, occult lady through and through. Like, I understand why I do things on a amorphous, above, subconscious, psychic, spiritual. I don't want to keep saying spiritual, so I'm trying to figure out synonyms for it. I understand why I do things on that level, but bringing that into reality and grounding that into something practical is a wee bit difficult, because I understand like why it's hard for me to be consistent, why I am emotionally reactive to certain things. The stars incline, they don't compel you to do anything. Because I've used these systems for quite some time, I understand myself and I understand the validity behind these systems, and they work for me. But the stuff in my chart, it's like the exact opposite of everything that the real world wants me to be. And I don't want to say I'm coping with that, but I'm trying to learn how to go with those energies. It's a task, certainly, for sure, because it's like, while I do believe in all of these woo-woo concepts, it's like you still have to be grounded in reality, because in order to wield in one reality, you have to be grounded in another. Like, it takes two to tango, the law of duality, everything is one. And also, these spiritual systems have helped me like heal a lot of the trauma that I've undergone, but I'm still a work in progress. And I also try to remind myself that I'm not a project to be consistently worked on, but I also understand that I need to, as a human being, just grow and evolve, and that's okay as well. Speaking of growing and evolving, sometimes it feels a little, I don't want to keep saying difficult and hard, but I'm just gonna, whatever comes. That's what she said. Like I said, I have CPTSD, which means I am no contact with the people who traumatized me. Like, I don't talk to my family much at all. I try to keep in contact with my grandparents because they are older, and if anything happened to them, I would be regretful regardless of what they did to me. I know they never really did nothing, but sometimes I'd be scared to talk to my papa because he is an old black man from the South. Girl, that man is 82, 83. I'm 22. But yeah, our age gap is also like a gap in wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and politics. And he's not like one of those conservative black people, but it's just like sometimes like I be on the edge of my seat talking to him. The way I feel talking to my grandpa is the way I feel talking to my father. And every time I have to talk to my dad, or at least when we were in communication, every time I had to talk to him, I felt like I was on the verge of throwing up my innards. Like, I felt like I was about to gag. I felt like I was about to I felt like I was about to die thrice simultaneously. That's when you know you shouldn't with somebody. Like I was saying, in order to grow and evolve, whenever you're going to a destination, you can't look back to where you've been. And that's another thing that I've been working through. Everybody has something they've gone through, but even if you don't have CPTSD, I feel like something about adulthood is just kind of reconciling with the facts of what is and what could have been and what's not. You know? So for me, I used to really ruminate a lot on what could have been if certain things didn't happen to me, how I could have turned out, what opportunities that I could have had, things like that. But then again, it's like, I don't have to stay shackled to what happened because I don't want to. Like, why would I want? I'm not finna spill too much tea, but I don't want to do that. So I don't have to do that because every day is about making a choice. I don't want to get caught up in constantly overthinking about what could have been, because overthinking won't give you the clarity that you've been looking for. You have to create space for the next chapter of your life to be revealed to you. And I understand that. I don't nearly as much think back or think of what could have potentially been. But sometimes, like, when I'm just having one of them days, I'm like, fuck. Like, did y'all even try? Like, my parents, like, did y'all even? But then again, it's like, you don't know what you don't know. They're repeating the same cycles that is familiar to them. And unfortunately, that means not being in contact with me. Because I'm a lady who knows what she wants. No, I don't. But I know what I'm not going to accept. I don't always know what I want, but I know what I'm not going to tolerate. And what I'm not going to tolerate is disrespect and bullshit. And that's all that comes from my family, unfortunately. So part of my growth in my evolutionary process is to move away from my roots, not necessarily my ancestry, because forever a black woman, but just moving away from my immediate family and just really focusing and honing in on me. You know that meme where those two like dudes are in a bus and one's like against the wall and the other's looking out the window? That's how I feel. Like, that's literally like the story of my life. I've more so now recently been looking out the window instead of being posted up against that wall. But yeah, just tying it all up with the family stuff, it has caused a lot of wounds because those are the first people that you are surrounded with. And considering the fact that I didn't have a stable father figure, and the one that I did had me, it, naturally was a very confusing time in my life, which resulted in me having low self-esteem, parental issues. I did too, because mom and dad, worthiness issues, just so many things. And I've done so well, like really getting out of there. I also feel like because I'm healing internally, that doesn't matter.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Like, it's all about what you can do externally, extrinsically. It doesn't matter intrinsic. Like, because capitalism is get rich or die trying, dog eat dog world. But I know that's not the truth. And I'm just tying that to creating on YouTube, because you have to consistently show up. And I think that one of the reasons why I have a hard time showing up consistently is because nobody showed up consistently for me. And not only that, I'm a young adult still trying to figure this shit out. I'm not going to be perfect. And I have to keep reminding myself of that I'm young and I'm going to make mistakes. And that's not just like justified bullshit. It's like a genuine, like, you're not going to be a millionaire at 22. Sure, there are 22-year-old millionaires, but you're not going to be one of them. And I'm not saying you could be, boo. Do you send me some money when you get some? But I'm just saying, for me, like, that's not in this like path for me right now. That just brings me up to like the comparison and the contrasting thing that I do, which is why I've drastically reduced my internet time, and I have been really focusing on living life on my own terms, whatever that means for me, discovering things that I like and dislike and enjoy and don't enjoy, because I feel like middle school, high school is like the time where your identity really develops. And go watch my identity development video, little shameless plug. Like I was saying in my teen to 20 video, also go watch that video. You become a young adult and it's like, oh, here, go off into the world. But it's like you're really a baby again. Procreation process, sperm finds egg gets fertilized, produce baby 9 months later, approximately. You start the journey from being an infant to a toddler to a kid, preteen, teen, young adult. And then when you're at that young adult age, like 18, or really 18 is teen, 19 is also teen, hence the word teen. When you're at that age, it's like, okay, yep, go into the real world. You already have to know what you like and you don't like, and you can't have time to breathe. Like, instantly, workforce, money, kids, which to me feels so unfair, by the way. But life is not fair, or whatever y'all like to say. And another birthing process where you've just gone through another long journey of something and you came out as something else, and the world expects you to do it all over again, right? At least where I'm at in my stage in life, it's not like, yeah, I got my shit together, I already know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I'm only 22. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. When I was in the process of graduating or ending my tenure in high school, I was one of them COVID graduates, and I got a little brief story time about that. My mom refused to sign my financial aid, and I was already not with college in the first place. Like, they was trying to get me to join the Air Force. I was convinced to do that, but then I was like, I'm not fighting for no oil. I don't support this in the slightest. But then again, everybody was like, if you go to the Guard, it's only 2 years. You don't know what you're going to do with them 2 years. So I already decided against the Air Force and just the general militant things of America, the industrial whatever complex. And then I already did not want to go to college. Didn't know what I wanted to major in. Every like oldest daughter or everybody who goes through trauma is like, yeah, I want to be a psychologist. Like, because that's what I initially thought I wanted to do. Girl, you don't even know what you got going on up here. If you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? I was already like, this school shit, I don't want to go in the first place. So when she was like, I'm not signing your financial aid, that was the icing on the motherfucking cake. The straw that broke the camel's fucking back. You're not signing this? I'm not going to school. I'm literally Mr. Krabs and Squidward. Like, I need SpongeBob energy. Not Patrick. Patrick gets on my everlasting nerve. I need more SpongeBob energy in my life. And I'm trying to do that, which is why I just turned on the camera and started talking, because I feel like I take my content too seriously. But part of me is like, is this sustainable? Because everybody's like, well, don't get too comfortable because it could be gone the next day. Because y'all remember what they did to MySpace, to Vine. And that's just another thing, like constantly thinking about the future. But it's like, am I gonna have a future? We're literally on this like wet ball of burning dirt right now, moving through the universe. In the grand scheme of it, nothing matters. If nothing matters, it's like, oh, I'm just give up now. But if nothing matters, you can have a blank, clean slate to do what you want to do. But yeah, it really don't be that deep at all. I just make it that deep. Neptune is touching a lot of things in my chart. It's really forced me to go through these coming to Jesus moments. I'm not a Christian, so I am Jesus in this case. I'm God, I'm the creator, I'm source, all those things. It really has me coming back to myself and really questioning my beliefs and the things that I want to do. And I feel like that's a sign of a healthy mind, questioning things, not just accepting things for face value. A dose of skepticism, always good. The world wants you to be so sure about every decision, every step, everything, when I simply don't know. And I feel like that is okay. The less I know, the better. Shout out to Tame Impala.